Okay, let's talk about Breatharianism. And it gets a lot of woo. And it's more of the pursuit of Breatharianism. That being the end goal. Obviously not the immediate. This is something that takes a long time to attain. But you start working towards something like that. Because I believe that we came from source, from energy. Energy didn't have to worry about food. And then you slowly dilute to fruitarian, vegetarian, and then meat that we're at now, where you're the most dense you could possibly be. That we are the dumbest we could possibly be right now. And we're having a shift where we return back to that. And I feel like everyone's starting to feel something along those lines. Maybe it's not as great of an extreme, but certainly a shift in something that they want to take more control of their life, more empowerment for themselves, not like this feminism stuff, but and not the extremes of it either, but the empowerment, this connection with nature and your spiritual self, your spirit in general, and your body and the power that we have as beings that exist here, but also the independence that comes with it, the independent that we have the capabilities to heal ourselves, to not have to worry about all these pharma medicines, the rely on these diet plans or the most nutritious things to eat that you have to eat every single day, or a set thing that you have to do every week to stay healthy. Life is about creativity and being able to do what you want freely, but that's control, and you have to take some steps, which society has really led us the wrong way in how to be actually independent, and we are so far removed from something in that capability to where we are now. And like I was saying, the pursuit of Breatharianism begins with I mean, obviously, if you're even here in the first place, you're willing to consider something that sounds absolutely crazy. The idea of being able to exist without eating or drinking, and once again, that takes a lot of building. You don't see a world champion in any sport, and it'd be their first day. They've been practicing for sometimes decades, if not decades. This is something that takes a very long time, but you can start down that track and it's not. I mean, everyone loves food and drink, and that's something you don't really want to give up, but you can start creating also a better relationship with that too. We have a terribly built relationship with food and drink. I say drink because it really should be water, but we have so many different drinks now. But it's about building a relationship, appreciation of what we're putting inside our bodies, and what makes us up, because we are literally just made up of what we eat. And that all goes back to illness as well. Any illnesses that we have, they stem from what we eat. If you're sick, what does an animal do whenever an animal's sick? It stops eating. But yet we still, unless you're feeling way too bad, then we typically tend to eat. And they even say, even doctors would tell you to drink like a Sprite or something carbonated or something like that. It's ridiculous. You should just completely stop anything. Let your body do its natural process and let it heal itself, because it's capable of doing all of that without any need of these extra things that we added. So taking control of that, right? This begins by identifying, or and like I was relating to with not wanting to give up food and drink, this is not something you give up immediately. This is a process, kind of like a baptism in a way, where you really rebuild that appreciation, because we've been given food and drink since to cope with things since we were born. First thing you do whenever you come out of the womb is usually go right to the tit and you start suckling, and that is to calm you down, right? And you stop crying. Well, there's not many individuals that have gone without eating, much less drinking, for a day. I mean, sure, we could talk about the more impoverished regions of the world, but it's not like they chose to do that, because whenever you believe that you need the water or the liquid and food to sustain, to live, then that is how people starve to death. That is how people die of dehydration, because they believe that they're going to die without it. But as we all know, our belief creates our reality, which is a super easy thing to say. But when everyone knows about jinxing, if they'll don't jinx me. It'll be like, don't say that because you don't want it to happen. Well, what are you saying? You're believing it into reality. Well, so we know the negative of it, but we're not going to relate it to the positive. That doesn't make any sense. Of course, it's on both sides. So you have to believe that this is not so you have to believe that this is possible to do. And once again, this is not an overnight thing, but it really starts by really cracking that mold of believability, right? By doing it yourself. Because it's one thing to see someone that does it, some guru or some other person that has done it, and since you haven't done it, you're like, well, they just did it, they're special. No, we all have the power to do this. And I won't even say power, it's just the innate ability. We all have this capability within ourselves to go without. And it actually, I mean, it builds so many different things, from discipline to your health. There's so many other different things that it's worth doing and worth implementing into your life. Just now we're seeing studies come out of how important fasting is, and how beneficial it is to people's lives. And these are people that are doing intermittent fasting to just a water fast. And these are the easiest forms of fasting. Dry fasting without food or water is where it's really a bit different. And it's slightly difficult at first. But once you weave it into your life, then, like anything, it becomes habitual, and it's not very difficult, and it just makes your life better, and you have more appreciation for not just food and water, but everything. We are made, we are water by 99 counts molecularly. We are made up of water. So water is obviously very important. Everyone knows you need water to survive, duh. But we already exist we're sacks of water, right? And water, as we know through cymatics, which is obviously not, it's indirectly relating to water, but frequency can affect and does affect everything, right? What's his name? Nikola Tesla said to think of the universe in terms of frequency and vibration. So it's all just frequency, right? Frequency and vibration. And the different frequencies that things resonate at, right? So if we're just water is an ultra receptor of frequency, and if we're 99 counts molecularly water, then what we put in, especially being water, and the frequency of that is very important, because that's going to be what our frequency is, right? And there's an individual, VID, who's done some exquisite work on what happens to water and the raising of frequency of it and the low frequency of it. She's done many examples, many studies. She has her own website, VID, and she shows plenty of examples where water literally emulates the image or the effect that is placed near and by. Like, it is sentient because we're sentient, because we're made up of water, and water's been around. Water always is around. We're made up of three things, right? Water, salts, and a soul or spirit, right? And all of those are eternal. Whenever you die, your water evaporates, right? And it comes back down. Same thing with salt. Salt just stays here, and the soul never dies. So we are eternal. We just think of, obviously, these linear pathways of life and death, but I mean, everything has to die for rebirth. The same thing, the whole point of this, you're having a death, a miniature death, where you're going without, and then you're reborn again, different and changed. And I myself have gone through this, my brother as well. We both did this at the same time. It's very possible, plausible to do. It's obviously difficult the first time, but it's radically changed our lives. Immensely for the better. I have so much more appreciation for my life, the food, the water that I drink, and the nature around me, right? And it's changed so many things. Looking back on it, it seemed rather small, but the small little steps that I've incrementally made and changed in my life at this point have stacked up so much, all stemming from that one point. It's a process where you prepare your body just like you should prepare for anything. You don't want to go anything cold turkey or just, right into it. You want to prepare yourself for this. So in our particular scenario, the way we prepared ourselves was we cut down to fruits for 1 week, just fruits, and then for the following week, so for a 2-week period, on the second half of that week, or the second week, well, then we cut it down to just fruit juice. These are the fruits that we've juiced down themselves. So it's still just fruit. It's not fruit juice concentrate that you're buying from the store. It's actual fruits. And some fruits are better than others because they have more water, so they are less dense. And these fruits, you juice them, and then that's what you're ingesting for that second week until the last day or two of that. You're going to swap to just water, and you're getting yourself fully prepared for this. You can even go distilled water. That's what we did on the last day. We did distilled water, and there's a lot of misconceptions, misinformation about distilled water. It's not really something to be worried about. I mean, the only real reason that people have these certain reactions to distilled water is because they have so many toxins in their body, and whenever your body is trying to flush, if you're only drinking straight distilled water, say this hypothetical scenario, you're only drinking straight distilled water, and you're eating fast food every day, then your body has so many toxins to flush that you're actually putting so much strain on your organs trying to get rid of these toxins, that this is where these problems come into hand. But obviously in the scenario that I'm talking about, in the actual preparation, you have prepared your body already for this. So drinking distilled water that last day is no problem, right? And so then we went 4 days, 96 hours, without any drink, any fluid, or any food. Zero. Was unneeded. We were perfectly fine. In fact, the sleep that we would only need, we would get about 1 hour of a sleep a night during that. And it wasn't that there was an issue. It was we were so full of energy. We didn't need to rest. We would be like, okay, if it's midnight, we stayed up as late as we could to try to help ourselves go to sleep, and would just sit there. And after 30 minutes, 45 minutes, we'd look at each other and we'd be like, I can't sleep either. And then we just get up and go do whatever we wanted to do, because whenever you're not processing and digesting so much food and drink, then you're left with a bunch of energy and a lot more time, right? So first 2 weeks, or 2 weeks preparation. First week just fruits, second week fruit juice, going up into the last day of that second week into just distilled water, no fruit at all, no fruit juice, nothing. Even the last 2 days before then, you can do, or ideally you would do 50% fruit juice diluted with 50% regular water, right? And then the last day before going to it, completely distilled water. And then your 4 days, 96 hours, you choose your time. We did 8 a.m. Probably heard the truck in the background. We started at 8 a.m. our dry fast, and then finished it on the last day at 8 a.m. That was whenever we broke our fast. So those days are a bit of a struggle. This is day 3 of the completely dry fast, of which we started with raw foods for a week. Mouth's completely dry. Energy level's fine.
Day 2?
Day 2 was terrible.
I woke up feeling great, okay? And then it was like slowly weaned off. Day 3, woke up feeling even better, and it never weaned off. It's definitely a progression.
Yeah. At 8:30 today, we'll finish our 3 days. And tomorrow, Thursday, at 8:30, we'll finish our 4-day fast. Break with water, obviously. And then we got Barfrey here. If anyone can do it, Barfrey can do it.
Hey, guys.
And he feels great. Certainly, because there's never been a time in our lives where we went without food and water. And then on the last day, there are different things that we do on the day. because you're using this as a building phase, so really rebirth. Because after even 72 hours of no water in your body, nothing, there's no water left in your cells really, right? So the frequency, like I was just saying, water retains frequency, right? You have water in your cells that's been there since the moment you put it in, whenever you were born. So whenever you're able to completely dry that out and get a clean slate, you're able to now add, once you break your fast, water that has a high frequency, and you're starting from a high frequency from that point forward. And this all relates back to Veda Austin about the frequency of water and how we are able to elevate the frequency of our water. Obviously, there are certain ones that you can get a hold of that are already high frequency, and you can make them even higher frequency, like natural spring water, right, where it's coming from these hard pressures underneath, but not tap water where it's going through all these iron pipes, lead pipes, sometimes even plastic pipes, which completely, and she shows in intricate detail how much it destroys the frequency of the water. She literally flash freezes examples of water, and you can see the symmetry and the crystallography of high frequency water or high frequency anything. She did it with eggs as well, versus something like water that was just tap water, or water that had been next to a 5G tower for even 15 minutes, completely destroyed. So ending the 4-day dry fast with water that you have risen in frequency, and it's not difficult to raise the frequency of anything, right? There was studies even done by, I forget the scientist's name, but he did studies with just taking water samples and smiling at the water, and then freezing it, and then looking at the crystallography, and it was becoming more symmetric, higher frequency, just by smiling, right? And that's a positive frequency that you're sending out by smiling. And couple that with words spelling, that's power. I mean, that's why shows like Harry Potter are so massive, because words have power. Whenever you say something to someone, they feel a certain way, versus if you just look at them, there's not as much that is conveyed. So that's how important words are, right? So if you were to look, and where your attention goes, that's where your energy flows, right? So if you're looking at the water and you're talking to it, you just send positive love to it, right? You're just saying, I love you, water. I appreciate you. I am so thankful that you are coming into my body, and I bless you. Those are very simple ones, very simple. And this can be done with water from this point forward, honestly, ideally, even before you start your dry fast. But from this point forward, you want to bless and appreciate and love and be thankful for your water and everything that you ingest, everything you're putting into your body, and raise the frequency of it, because it's raising your frequency as well. And making this ceremony, right, at the end of it as well, is important to bring the importance to it. This is it. In less than 7 minutes, we are breaking our fast. Us three right here after 96 hours. Supposed to be dead. This amazing water ceremony that we have prepared, that we will be breaking with very soon, with all this water that we have blessed in these magnificent vessels, and with stuff that we will say before we drink. We have blessed this entire area and brought its energy up, and we will continue to do that and enjoy it. And I'm just so thankful and grateful to be here with these guys. And I know we could do it. I knew we could do it, and I'm so thankful that I've done it together with these dudes right here.
That's what happens when you don't listen to anybody, because everybody's going to tell you you're going to die. Don't listen to nobody. It's
Wouldn't want it with anybody else.
Yes.
Let's get it.
This is it. I'm so thankful and grateful to be here. I'm so excited and whole and thankful and grateful to be here with these people, and to be doing this in less than 5 minutes and ingesting this and appreciating and enjoying it. I thank you so much. The importance to what you're doing here, to symbolize it. That's why they have rituals, because it increases the importance of these things, right? And this is an important thing for you that you're doing. And breaking your fast with very high frequency water that you have blessed and put a lot of intention and positive love into, you are then replenishing all your cells, everything, all the water in your body, with now high frequency water from that point forward. And then upon breaking your fast, you want to be gentle with this. Coming out of the dry fast, you want to drink really about a cup of water once every 30 minutes. So you break it with your 1 cup, wait 30 minutes, another cup, another 30 minutes, another cup, another 30 minutes, 30 cup for 2 hours. Then you're free to drink as much as you wish. But you want to drink so much and you're going to over drink. So you have to discipline yourself for those initial 2 hours to slowly intake that water. And then from that point forward, you can drink the water as you wish. And then you're going to stay on that water, just water, for another day, right? Because your body needs to readjust. And then you're going to taper back into regular life, right? So as you had to taper down at the beginning from regular to fruits to fruit juice to half fruit juice, half water to distilled water. Now as we're coming out, we're doing just water for a day, and then 50-50 juiced fruit juice, water, and then regular fruit juice for this is, at least 2 or 3 days, and then you can move back to full fruit, and then you can start working with this to implement it into your life. Some people like to push it. They might dry fast for longer than 4 days, or they might just stick to just water coming back for a couple of weeks, or go to fruit juice for a little bit for a couple of weeks, and then eventually wean back to regular life, regular meals, right? But everything, it's going to be different. Things are going to be different for you. Your appreciation for water is going to be ridiculous, among other things. But your appreciation for food and water obviously are going to be ridiculously high. But God, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, you're going to want to weave this into your real life. So now what I have done is what I have done after finishing that fast was now I eat only 1 meal a day. I used to work out. I mean, I still work out, but I used to do the whole bodybuilding junk where you would eat 6 or 8 or 10 meals a day, having to think I got to keep the protein super high and constantly every 2-3 hours have food going in and eat clean food and all that stuff. I mean, I'm saying just like rice, chicken over and over again, like 5-6 times a day, eggs, all this stuff. And now I eat 1 meal a day, and it's really built my appreciation. I know I'm eating exactly what I want. I'm not just like eating because it's a timer. And every single meal, I'm looking forward to it, that 1 meal, because if it's your 1 meal, you're gonna make it great. And it also gives you freedom to really enjoy the stuff that you want, because you're only eating 1 meal. So you're gonna eat till you're full, and you're gonna drink water until you're full, and you're gonna be nice and really satiated after that meal, for sure. And it gives you freedom to still eat like cookies or something like that, because you're only eating that 1 meal. And this is freedom that you start to weave into your life. And because just going without, it's difficult. If you still live with people, they're going to eat meals too. There's a lot of social constructs that are built around eating. We have a lot built on that. So you're still going to want to be able to participate with people and still have that camaraderie with eating and drinking as well. So the best way to go about it is to implement that one meal a day. Is what I was trying to say. Implement that 1 meal a day, and usually the best time to eat anywhere from noon to about 3 p.m., somewhere around there. And that's just the ideal circadian rhythm as to when to eat that meal, right? It gives you the best time to digest, and best for you. But I mean, obviously, if circumstances happen, it's whatever. I mean, it's life. That's what makes it so great. You're able to do whatever you want as long as you're getting your 1 meal a day. But it's easy now for me to do 1 meal a day, and you'll figure out that food is, or the feeling of hunger, the feeling of thirst, it's all in your head. It's all hormonal. responses, neurons firing in your brain, these patterns that we've built up that tell us when I wake up, oh, I'm hungry, I gotta eat lunch, I gotta eat dinner, like, because we're a species that's, everything we do is in patterns. So we were also shattering these patterns and shattering once again this grand illusion that you have to eat all these times, that you're supposed to eat all these times. Breaking fast, break fast, that should be your one meal. You break your fast, you're eating one meal a day, so you're technically eating for 1 hour essentially from start to finish, and then you're fasting for about 23 hours. Not a dry fast, you're able to drink as much as you wish, but this is huge for your health and absolutely life-changing. And this will you'll start to see other things start to want to change, like becoming barefoot, wanting to be barefoot as much as you possibly can, strengthening your feet. There's many different benefits of that, but I mean the things that happen from shoes as well destroy and deform our feet with the closing of the toes and stuff. We're supposed to be splayed, have wide toes. I think everyone knows that now at this point, but yet people still wear these tight shoes. No need for it. You become more appreciative of nature as well, and other things will start to change. You'll want to change, like, your toothpaste, like making your own toothpaste, which is very easy. Coconut oil, baking soda, maybe some xylitol, with an X, xylitol, for a little bit of sweetener, and then some peppermint oil. I hear some people screaming. So coconut oil, baking soda, peppermint for the scent, and xylitol for a little bit of flavor to balance out the super saltiness of the baking soda. Because isn't it a bit strange that every single toothpaste has fluoride in it? There's no need for fluoride. It can literally just be taken out. There's no argument that can be made for fluoride to be in the toothpaste. So, and it's so cheap and easy to make. Like, sure, maybe buying coconut oil, coconut oil is really the only one you can argue that might cost a little bit of money. Like, for a jar of coconut oil, it might cost like $10, but the amount of toothpaste that you can make with a jar of coconut oil, bag of baking soda, peppermint oil, and the xylitol, it might cost you maybe $25, $30 tops. And a tube of toothpaste costs like $5, right? Or maybe you buy some really cheap one, $3. Anyways, with that supply, you can make a year's worth, if not more, of toothpaste that either equals out or is cheaper than buying the tubes of toothpaste. So there's no reason at all to use regular toothpaste when this works just as well, and you're not getting ingested with fluoride. And ingested with fluoride, whenever you brush your teeth, every single time, statistically, you swallow 3 to 5% of the toothpaste. So you're swallowing 3 to 5% of just that little bit that you use, right? But of fluoride. Once, hopefully twice, you're brushing a day. 2 times a day for 365 days. So over 700 times you're ingesting fluoride. That's pretty detrimental. Multiply that times the years we've been alive. It's terrible, right? These are small changes you start to make. You'll start to spend less time around your phone, seeing the frequencies that these things are emitting and how much they disrupt just water. Once again, VID Austin has done great examples with this, as she's shown that the disruption of cell phone frequency or 5G towers that it has on water, we're 99% by molecular count water, so it's going to have that effect on us. So you want to spend less time with that. And sure, you can still use your phone, but don't have it sitting right next to you. Don't have it in your pocket. Don't have it just sitting in your lap whenever you're driving. One of the leading causes of cancer we're having right now is in teens that are getting cancer either up here by their ear, Michael Jordan had that as well, or in their butt, or right around their testicles, right? Because this is where we store our phones. Weird how that is. And then, yeah, don't even get me started about cancer. I mean, when you get into cancer, this is just the overproduction of cells. The cells that were fine until there was too much of them. And where do you get too much of cells from? From eating, from diet. Cancer is not the problem. I guess I got myself started on cancer. Cancer is not the problem. The problem is our diet. We're just overfeeding these cells, and these cells are taking the energy that's being given to them, and they just keep on producing. It always goes back to diet. Big Pharma would be nothing if we were taking care of our diets. And that comes back to our independence. We wouldn't have these pills, wouldn't have these diseases or illnesses, any of this, any injuries really. I mean, obviously, you break your leg, that's a different story. But I mean, like these issues of these tissues wearing down, these elbow joints, knee joints that eventually are degrading, getting arthritis and whatnot, because they're all resulting from the diet being poor for so many decades. That's the thing. It's not just one day. It never hurts you. 1 week never hurts you. But whenever these things are built upon for years and decades, that's where this degradation happens. So you got to start the change now. And you start making your life better forever, right? You want to be vegetarian, bordering on vegan. I speak to vegans very often, and we have a lot of arguments back and forth, because it really just depends on what type of vegan you are. If you're a philosophical vegan, then you can kill a human being as long as you don't harm an animal. It's like, well, that's just doesn't make much sense to me. It's only about not injuring the animals. Well, if you're vegan for the purpose of treating everything fairly and also your health, then yes, no problem with that. Unfortunately, veganism has turned into a more social thing where you're letting people know that you're better than others. So that's something I can't really get behind. But that's why I'm more with the whole plant-based vegetarian style, because it's still, I mean, one I'm still trying to break is cheese. But cheese is delicious, and you can say, oh, there's vegan cheese, but then you're paying so much. That's another thing. You're paying gobs amount of extra money for vegan stuff, or imitation of it, like a vegan cheeseburger or vegan eggs. It's like the products that are made to use these are terrible for you. Not that red meat is any better, but then why you just drop both is the argument you can make for that. But also, why would you imitate the eating of something? Something my mom used to say was, pretending is just like doing. And if you're pretending to eat a burger, even though it's a vegan burger, you're pretending to eat a real burger. And vegans don't like this argument, but it's the same with these Epstein occult type folks, where they're doing these ritual parties where they're pretending to eat babies, and they'll have like whole dining tables, and they'll just be like either human bodies, obviously not real human, but either like a plant made of it, and they just kind of decorate it to make it look that way, like cake style, like with a cake, and they're pretending to eat that. Well, that's the same thing as a vegan cheeseburger. Like, if you're going to be vegan, then you have no one of that at all. Like, I'm plant-based vegetarian. I don't want anything to do with a regular burger, much less a vegan burger. I have no one for that either. That's how it should be. So all this is contributing to helping, I guess that specifically was a tangent, but the whole idea, the premise of this video of the Breatharian pursuit is to start raising your frequency, because you can't be high frequency eating what society deems is what you should be eating, and how frequently as well, because you're just becoming more dense, more heavy, right? When we look to monks, they're the myths of them like levitating and stuff is because they're light, they're almost ethereal. And what do? They fast a lot, they barely eat. They are very high frequency as a result of that. Is what we're trying to get back to now, is raising our frequency higher. And it starts really by the diet, and then that will start to trickle into everything, because you'll start paying more attention to the impact that it's having anything on your body, and your relationship with stuff as well. It doesn't extend to, it doesn't just stop at water and food. Things that you might consider inanimate, like to be grateful for, like I'm grateful for my bed and my blankets and my pillows, and I tell them that. I'm grateful for my home, and I tell it that. I am grateful for my gym. I'm grateful for my body. I'm grateful for my organs, for what little hair I have left. I'm thankful for all of it, and I appreciate it. And I make sure to tell it that, and I do my very best to make eye contact with it. Now, when in the case of organs, obviously you have to visualize, but if you're wherever your wherever your attention is, my attention would be right here on my organs, then that is where my energy is flowing. So it is still the same thing. And also, the whole point of this is to implement or understand that, once you start to learn that there's all these terrible things that are going on, right, you can focus on just that and be lost in it and be depressed, or see the other side of it, the more positive side, which is the side you're supposed to see, that you can separate yourself from that and only focus on the good. And that's what life really is about, because there's always going to be things out of your control that are going on, but you can only control what's going on with you. So when you're bringing up your health, your life doesn't, like, another I guess I like to pick on vegans, but their whole identity is being a vegan. There's way more to life than eating. To eat, most people will live to eat. You want to eat to live. There's so much more to do than just worrying about your next meal or what to drink. So it's about weaving a positive life full of activity, that you're also building appreciation for with what you're doing, but also in your food and your water. So what I'm doing is I'm making a workshop where it's about 10 days long, and it will be a tapering in phase. Ideally, do a bit of your tapering before showing up, and then we'll go into the 4-day dry fast, and then we'll taper out. Just be there to walk you through it. I'll be doing it at the same time to show you that it's very possible and that you can even do stuff. I practice jiu-jitsu while fully fasted. I do a dry fast every single week now, 1 day a week, sometimes 2 days a week. It really depends, like 24 hours or 48 hours. It really just depends on how I'm feeling for the week. But every single week I do a 24-hour dry fast. Just choose a day that works best for me. And it doesn't even have to be a crazy day. You can even experiment with dry fasting yourself the first time, just to see. And don't make it difficult on yourself. Choose a time right after your meal, like maybe 1 p.m. after you had lunch. You had a nice, enjoyable lunch. Have a meal that you really enjoy, and drink up a whole bunch to where you feel nice and full, where you don't even really want any more to drink, at least at that time, right? And then you start your dry fast, say at 1 p.m. That way, 24 hours later, at 1 p.m. the next day, that is when you break your fast. Ideally, start with water that you have blessed and put love and intention into. It's the same thing with your meal that you're going to eat. And see how that goes for you. You'll probably see a little bit of change. It'll definitely be very difficult for you, because we've built so many different patterns and fixations, but they're all in your mind. It's all these hormones, these patterns that are telling you that you need to do this, and you just tell yourself, tell your brain, I am not hungry. You are just a pattern. This is not what I am. I'm not controlled by this. I'm not going to worry about this. I am not hungry. You're just a hormone. You're just a feeling that I have, and feelings come and they pass. So you will pass, and it'd be amazing. You'll see how quickly it'll change for you. Nowadays, sometimes I might get that feeling when I'll see other people eating, and I'm not going to eat for several hours, and I'll immediately feel it, right? Because your eyes are, you're taking in so much information. And then I'll just tell myself in my head, I don't have to say it out loud, but that's just a feeling. I'm not actually hungry. And then it just goes instantly. It's pretty crazy. That's another example of your belief creating a reality, which we know to be true. So anyways, I'm creating this workshop where you come and we go through this Breatharian initiation with you, but we also show how to do other stuff at the same time. I also work out. I exercise. I lift weights at the same time while dry fasted. I've even gone days where I've done jiu-jitsu and workout, all dry fasted. Yes, you can argue it's not the best for strength gains. There's no doubt about it, because water is an essential part of muscle. But I'm at a point now where building the most amount of muscle the most efficiently is not important to me. That's so superficial, and caring what other people think which is something that takes years of time. I mean, I've worked out for 11 years. I'm by no means big, not at all, but it was something I dealt with for a long time, and it took me, I guess really, this is the 12th year that I'm coming to, I wouldn't say this year exactly, but I'm at 12 years now, and it takes years to get past that point to where you're maintaining. You know that you want to work out because of the way it makes you feel, and it's not the primary focus of your life. So I'm not worried about building muscle most efficiently. So I'm just making sure that I work out and I get those neurons firing, and I have my body working in that function, in that way, to keep it running the way I want it to right now. Because obviously building strength goes into many other avenues, whether it be jiu-jitsu, golfing. I say those because that's what I do and my brother does, and it only makes you better by working out. Sure, you can be great if you practice that one skill, but you could be even better if you had a bit more strength, a bit more endurance. So there's no reason not to do it. So anyways, these are all things that you can still do completely dry fasted. Obviously, I don't recommend at all doing them the first time, or working out the first time dry fasted. The first time you should be very easy for you when you do your dry fast, but it's something worth trying. I mean, I doubt most people have gone even a day without drinking or eating, so you can just do that anytime and give that a shot, and see what that's like, and the amount of mental strain that it takes, but the satisfaction whenever you've completed that 24 hours, and you'll know if you lied to yourself. That's the only person that you're doing this with, so it's the only person that matters to, and how satisfying that will be that you were able to overcome that. So with our workshop, you will be shown that it is possible, that you can still do activities even while dry fasted, but also weave other things into your life that you may want to take on as skills, and how to implement this into your life and go forward and make your life better. Maybe it might not make every person's life better, but it's not negative. So it's only meant to be positive. Talking about important, kind of break the mold, illusory things that I had kind of touched a little bit about on early in the video, and how to eat, which I explained a little bit of that as well. How to take care of what you're eating and drinking, the intentions with it, to your relationship with yourself and then that around you, and then those around you, and then activities like whether you want to start working out. We're also going to be there to help show that as well. I mean, I feel like I paid money to work out whenever I was younger, like to learn. I had a personal trainer, right? And I don't regret it whatsoever, but I also don't believe that anyone else should have to pay for something like that specifically. It should just be knowledge that we all have. So part of this workshop would be, if you wanted to, you could learn how to properly work out, if that is something you care to do, or how to properly stretch, which is something I also find to be very important. How to do jiu-jitsu, or how to golf, or how to surf. These are all things that are just, it's about things that you can do for the rest of your life that aren't really destroying your body, but are making your quality of life better, and better for those around you as well. So that is pretty much the whole point of this workshop and the whole point of this video, to present that and offer that as an option for people to want to do. And I'm just excited to do this for the first time, and I've been talking about this to me and my brother Christian, my brother Otto, really. We have been talking about this for a long time, and this isn't some spur of the moment. It's just been building, and it felt like I never had enough information, confidence, experience to really combine it all. But at this point, I feel like I do. I feel like we both do, and I feel like, I mean, in this part of our lives, we also want to build a bigger community of people that are like-minded, that are trying to raise their frequency and live life the most creative, the most appreciative, and the most fun. And this is the step really towards doing that. So I don't see why not. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I'm really excited to see first ever people and be a part of this workshop.